And of course, we thank you for continuing to watch our coverage of the Alec Murdaugh murder trial. Attorney Ronnie Richter of the Bland and Richter Law Firm is here helping us understand some of the complexities of the trial that has captured the attention of millions of people. Of course, today is the second day of testimony. One of the biggest takeaways today, of course, was seeing this interrogation happen. We just saw the video of Alec Murdaugh sitting in that car with state law enforcement division agents wearing a white T-shirt and hearing him say that he had touched his son's body and that he had possibly touched his cell phone, and wearing that white T-shirt. That was one of the big takeaways today. Yeah, no doubt. It's hard to reconcile. Yeah, as graphic as both parties have made the scene appear, right? To think that he handled either one of those bodies, and yet there's no blood on his hands, no blood on that white T-shirt. The jury's watching that, and that's going to be a hard discrepancy to reconcile ultimately. Yeah, but we know that a lot is happening over the course of this, and as you told us before, this is the responsibility of the state to present the evidence, but the defense has to challenge it and confuse the court. How do they do that with this T-shirt? Yeah, you know, it's confusing evidence, right? And the jurors are there because we're counting on them to use their God-given common sense, right? It's not just take it as I give it to you. You bring life experience to that jury box, and we're expecting each and every one of them to use that life experience. How do you reconcile? I went over to my bloody, dying son and wife, and I handled their bodies, yet I have no blood on me whatsoever. I think that's a real problem for Alex, especially in the context of someone who appears already to have been fabricating an alibi. Mm-hmm. We also thought that the T-shirt was going to be a big factor because we heard about it being cut up and destroyed and not being a factor, and then we're seeing it for the first time. Yeah, you know, before the trial started, when we found out there was trouble with the T-shirts, mm-hmm. I thought it was the centerpiece of the case, and I worried. It's as if we were invited to Thanksgiving dinner at Creighton's house, and on the way we were told that the turkey got ruined. Uh-huh. You know, and all you can think is, well, the mac and cheese better be damn good, right? but there's a lot more. There's a lot more. So it turns out Creighton had a fine ham in the form of this GPS and cell phone data. He had ballistics experts, and now we're seeing that case build. We're seeing the evidence start to stack, and I'm very impressed that he was able to pivot away from what looked like critical evidence and keep that case going. Let's keep talking about Creighton Waters. If you had to grade him, it's been a week of this trial. Jury selection, getting the jurors seated, and of course entering the evidence with opening statements. What grade do you give the state prosecutor? Yeah, I'm giving him a solid B+, and it's really because I'm reluctant to give out an A. Okay. He's in quite a spotlight, right? There's a lot of pressure on him. The lawyers don't make up the evidence, the lawyers present it. He had a serious twist handed to him with that T-shirt, and yet he's built this three-legged stool of a case where we've got that cell phone data, which is compelling, and it puts all three of them together at the kennels. We've got the ballistics evidence that says that the rounds that were fired were rounds consistent with guns that were at Alex's house, which guns are now missing. And we've got what appears to be Alex engaged in fabricating an alibi. So it's a pretty strong three-legged stool that he started to build. And to be able to pivot off of that, that upsetting turn of events with the T-shirt, a very good job by Creighton Waters. What grade do you give the defense? Dick is doing a good job. I have to give him a B. Okay, a B, but not a B+. Yeah, his job, and we heard that withering opening statement from the state, and it was so graphic and so powerful. It was a call to action. And Dick stood tall in the face of that and actually played a little bit of judo law and took that same bad evidence and used it in his favor by, building the theory that it's implausible that this happened because it was so graphic. Mm-hmm. So an excellent use of taking what appears to be some very strong adverse evidence and turning it into your favor. He has tried to discredit some of the witness testimony, but those witnesses have presented lots of evidence so far. And in my estimation, they've come off looking like pros. I think he would have them look like rank amateurs who did a terrible job securing that crime scene. But I've been very impressed by the quality of the witnesses who've appeared and by the work that they did at that crime scene. What grade do you give the judge, Judge Clifton Newman?
Yeah, so Judge Newman is the state of South Carolina for me too, okay? And what happened with Alex Murdaugh, especially with the nonsense that took place down in Hampton County, okay? The entire state of South Carolina got a black eye for that. And the eyes of the world are watching us, and it is critical that people perceive that we can administer justice in South Carolina, that it's not backwater rubes who are controlling the judiciary. And I give Judge Newman an A. He is poised, he is polite, he is prepared, he is professional, all right? He is everything that you want from an umpire. He's calling balls and strikes, he's letting the players play, all right? And his demeanor on the bench is fantastic. I challenge you to tell me what side he favors right now. His impartiality is intact, and I think he's doing a fantastic job. So the state of South Carolina is winning this week.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time. We're just about out of time. We look forward to speaking with you again next week to add additional insight. Thank you so much, Ronnie Richter of the Bland and Richter Law Firm. Stay